Deep sea mining, a dangerous innovation. When you think about the deep sea, normally one pictures a barren wasteland of sand and silt standing in complete darkness. In reality, this is the furthest from the truth. Fueled by hydrothermal vents spewing out chemical soup, entire ecosystems have been created that are completely alien to our own on the surface. This environment, one that we know nothing about, is currently being explored to strip mine for precious polymetallic nodules. If deep sea mining occurs, it means that these ecosystems will be corrupted and may never recover. This is the reality of ocean mining. It destroys our world's most important ecosystems and has unknown consequences for the future. In order to mitigate the damage, control over who mines where needs to be given by an informed coalition between miners and scientists to find the healthy balance that promotes sustainability. In order to understand how ocean mining impacts the environment, we need to know how it works. Ocean mining is a process that is performed mostly by robots like the one in the picture that are dredging the top 6 inches of sand and silt on the ocean floor in search of polymetallic nodules. These nodules are bits of rock with high percentages of precious metals like lithium that companies are in precious need of. The problems from ocean mining are twofold. The dredging destroys the local ecosystems where it is occurring, while the plume of sediments that are unused spreads up to 50 miles away and sinks back to Earth, burying the aquatic creatures there. Most efforts for deep sea mining are currently focused on the CCZ, or the Clarion-Clipperton Zone, a 1.7 million square mile area that ranges from Mexico to Hawaii. This area is also one of the most unexplored areas on the ocean floor, meaning mining here will have unexpected environmental impacts. The two main environmental impacts of ocean mining are decreasing the ocean floor's biodiversity and increasing the rate of global warming. Currently, the biodiversity down there is unknown. It has barely been studied before. An article published by NOAA details the surprising biodiversity found on the ocean floor. They're quoted saying, "The diversity of the life in these seafloor areas is really amazing. We found at least 10 species of giant sea cucumbers, a huge squidworm never seen before in the Pacific Ocean, and all kinds of sponges and other animals." Some of the most important life down there, however, is unable to be seen. Even the bacteria living down there is important. A study performed by Heriot-Watt University shows that bacteria living within the CCZ fixes atmospheric CO2 into biomass. They're quoted saying, "Our findings reveal that 200 million tons of CO2 could be fixed into biomass each year by this process. This equates to approximately 10% of the CO2 that oceans remove each year." Mining within the CCZ not only stands to destabilize the ecosystems there, but the ecosystems of the entire planet by increasing the rate at which global warming is proceeding. Surprisingly, mining companies are stating that deep sea mining is actually better for the environment than terrestrial mining. However, usually this is untrue. One company named Deep Green is making the argument that mining in the deep sea is more sustainable, but this is untrue. On their website, they're even quoted stating, "The CCZ will suffer damage during nodule removal. Some populations and functions will recover in 30 to 50 years. Green themselves admit that by mining in the deep sea, they will be damaging the environment that these important microorganisms live in. Green also goes as far to offer perceived demand, stating, "If we replace 1 billion gas-guzzling cars with electric cars, we need 85 million tons of copper, 56 million tons of nickel, 7 million tons of manganese, and 7 million tons of cobalt." In reality, these numbers are completely obsolete. The numbers they offer only shows a perceived demand that they themselves have decided. In reality, the companies in which they say these resources are for don't even exist yet, so these numbers mean nothing. Overall, Deep Green severely understates and avoids the true environmental impacts of deep sea mining in the pursuit of maintaining their claim that mining in the deep sea is more sustainable than terrestrial mining. My solution to mitigate the environmental impacts of deep sea mining is to give the ISA, or International Seabed Authority, more power. The ISA is made up of 167 member states and is mandated by the UN to organize, regulate, and control all mineral-related activities in the international seabed area for the benefit of mankind. Currently, deep-sea mining is regulated by the ISA under the Mining Code, a coalition of documents that outline the specific procedures and how deep-sea mining is to occur. The more powerful ISA needs to rewrite the mining code with more environmental protections and start giving out less permits to mine within the deep sea. There are many different ways to solve this problem. However, regulation coming from an office that companies are used to listening to will provide the fastest, most effective solution. Implementing will take lots of rewriting of legislation and drafting of new bills in order to give the ISA more power. Currently, it's classified as autonomous, which means the United Nations has no jurisdiction and it's able to make its own decisions as it chooses. Changing this distinction would make the ISA more accountable to all members of the UN. This would give the ISA more accountability and oversight, and perhaps even make the problem more publicized. The ISA should also create a board of scientists and oceanographers that dictate where and when deep-sea mining should be occurring. This would ensure that all deep-sea mining is happening in a sustainable, small-scale way. Currently, a group called DOSI, or the Deep Ocean Stewardship Initiative, actively fights against deep-sea mining. By allowing more space within the ISA for groups like DOSI would lead to deep-sea mining becoming more sustainable and environmentally friendly. Even though it may be impossible to limit deep-sea mining as a whole, implementing this solution will mitigate most of the damage. By allowing scientists to have more of an input on when, where, and how deep-sea mining takes place, along with even more UN oversight, deep-sea mining will be able to be conducted in a minimal, safe way that doesn't damage the environment as a whole. With the scientists that have a greater role, the correct decisions about deep-sea mining will be made by informed delegates and occur in a way that can be sustainable and safe for the future ahead.